Just months after the tragic murder of Antwon Rose in 2018, I introduced an interdepartmental police hiring reform bill. After a major rally for police accountability in the state capitol in 2019, I reintroduced it. This time it was referred to the House Judiciary Committee, where it languished. In the fall of 2019, Attorney General Josh Shapiro convened a meeting with the Pennsylvania Legislative Black Caucus and various stakeholders from law enforcement, where he stated that legislation to create a police misconduct database represented one of the lowest hanging fruit for all parties to support. Fast forward to last summer, where peaceful protests in the wake of the killings of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor were organized all across our Commonwealth. That passionate, urgent expression of the collective will of justice-loving Americans from a panoply of backgrounds sparked a historic, nonviolent, direct action among a handful of state reps that led a Republican-controlled General Assembly to unanimously pass 2 Democratic bills, merged from 4 separate pieces of legislation that had not received any previous attention in the General Assembly. Act 57 of 2020 was signed into law just 36 days after this successful act of civil disobedience on the House floor was orchestrated, as inspired by Black Lives Matter movement, itself rising from the deep inequities in policing that festered in Ferguson and nationwide for generations. But in this moment, I stand here with this prediction: that with bolstered transparency measures adopted through the regulatory process, appropriate resources, and administrative rigor, this state interdepartmental law enforcement misconduct database has the potential to both identify and ultimately reduce the number of law enforcement agency applicants who are hired despite having egregious documented disciplinary actions against them that endanger community well-being. But as much as this enactment and activation of Act 57 and the database it created are worthy of celebration, this statute is only as good as the sunlight it shines on once opaque processes. At best, this database will be populated with broad and relevant hiring information to allow law enforcement employers to know before a candidate is hired if that person will be an asset or a liability to their agency and to the public at large. It should also mitigate the likelihood a police force knowingly offers a badge and a gun to the next Michael Rosfeld or Ryan Pownall. But Act 57 addresses the worst symptoms of a 321-year-old institution. Other legislation yet passed address deeper systemic issues that our chairwoman, Donna Bullock, is leading the fight on. And the fight is ongoing. Yes, this database represents a bold and historic accomplishment, but it is just the beginning. And it is no secret that Black and brown and justice-loving people of all backgrounds will not rest until we reinvent what community safety looks like in our Commonwealth. Why? Because we know that when the beloved community rises in the streets for justice, we catch a glimpse of what greatness can look like. We will not rest until this just transformation becomes final and binding in the moral fabric of our Commonwealth.